What's going on, Powerstroke family? We're going to do a little review today of the Titan non-blade 6467 for your 11 to 14 trucks. Okay, pretty sure that this review will probably also go into any guys driving the 15 and up style trucks. But where it's going to differ is why it's not like why it's a drop-in turbo, because you know our I would say that our year trucks 11 to 14 is like the unicorn, right? Like they're just now starting to come in and give us what we need. Let's talk about what you get in that package, fitment. We're going to talk about performance, and we're going to talk about some towing ability on this one. Okay, let's talk a little bit about price. Okay, 11 to 14 guys, they're we're like the low man on the totem pole with these turbos, and they're just now starting to come around. No Limit's doing it as well. As far as for price points, I think KC is still the one that's trying to bend you over the barrel. You're probably going to save about $800, so maybe even $1,000, going with Titan. All right, as far as performance and as far as performance, sound, all that good stuff, I don't see a reason to spend an extra $1,000 on a KC turbo, personally, in my opinion. Okay, don't shoot the messenger. But let's talk about what you get in the box. Okay, so you're gonna get your turbo, you're gonna get your coolant line, gasket, you're gonna get some decals, you're gonna get some coupler pieces. So this turbo is a direct drop-in. What I mean by direct drop-in, we'll just compare it to KC. Okay, so KC is going to come on a 17 plus pedestal. All right, you're going to also get a new intake plenum because that turbo sits higher in the valley. Okay, and it's not going to plug up to your stock intake manifold. All right, this turbo is not. This is actually a direct drop-in. You're not sitting higher in the valley. You're actually sitting at the same height. Okay, and because of that, what they do and they give you these coupler pieces, you're going to get these two pieces here in your kit. All right. You're going to have your turbo side, which is, of course, is going to be bigger. All right. And you're going to have your intake plenum side. It's going to plug in. All right. You're going to get this cap off piece. Little rivets inside. Plug that right up into the top. And it's going to cap that off for you. This turbo, because of the way it's designed, sits at the exact same height as your dual inlet turbo did. All right, so you'll be able to, it's literally plug and play. All right, you're not going up high, you're not sitting higher in the valley like a KC turbo. This pedestal is like custom designed as far as, it is fed internally through the pedestal for oil. It's not an outside feed line. Okay, I will say this though, but because of the fact that it sits at that same height, all right, and because of the way that the turbo housing sits, you're sitting extremely close to your exhaust manifolds. I'll give you a little shot of the turbo here in a sec. And because of that also, tightening down some of them bolts becomes interesting, all right, to say the least. I wouldn't say this is really an install for like your weekend warrior guy who tackles oil changes. Not knocking you guys. I mean, that's pretty much what I am, but I took a chance on it. If you're not confident, take it to a professional to have this thing installed. And I think their warranty also kind of states that too. If you're looking to make sure that you maintain their warranty, I think you have to have it installed by a professional shop, not somebody at your house. So I'll give you a quick shot of this turbo. See how it fits in there. All right. Now, as you probably saw in that, I am running an SPE piping kit. Okay, we'll talk about that for a quick second. SPE offers that ability to have interchangeable inlets to the turbo to go to your intake. They have your low rise, your high rise, and then if you're running that kit, you have your dual inlet as well that goes into your turbo. SPE has recently changed some things up with that. You used to be able to just go on their website and purchase a pipe to interchange it. They're no longer doing that. Okay, you have to have their piping kit already in, and in order, so what you're going to have to do is message the sales department and request a pipe. Now, what you're going to want in this kit is you're going to want the high rise pipe. Okay, they have, like I said, they have the high rise, the low rise, and then your dual inlet portion. Those pipings do not correlate with the height of the turbo. It correlates with the height of the pipe. So you want the high rise pipe because you want the pipe to rise high. Okay. If you don't not running SPE, and let's say you're going for MPD or you're going for pusher or something like that, you're going to want to request one for a non-VGT turbo. All right, because of the height of the turbo in the valley. All right. Not like KC. If you're doing with KC, if you're having SPE, you're going to be running a low rise pipe. Okay, or same thing going to pusher or MPD or something like that. You're going to want you're going to be going after like a low rise portion. All right, back to the turbo. Okay, let's talk a little bit about performance, ignition. Coming directly from the dual inlet turbo, I would say that the dual inlet turbo is the fastest stock turbo application as far as spool up times. Okay, there's really no debating that. All right, it's going to spool. It's definitely spooling faster than 15 and up style turbos because of that dual inlet design. But I honestly can't say that I could sit here and I can't sit here and say, man, oh man, I feel like some huge turbo lag. I don't. When I hit the gas, she rocks. Now, granted, there is definitely some ignition thing, but it's not something so drastic that I could honestly put my finger on it. In my opinion, all right. Drivability on this thing is a monster. Just FYI though, because I'm running the 64, I'm not running stock fueling. Okay, so I'm going to get to that in a second. But yeah, she ignites quick. I mean, she pulls hard. Okay. What I am running is RCD's 10% over pump. Okay. This 64 definitely needs more fueling. If you're running an 11 to 14 stock fueling in your truck, I wouldn't recommend going to the 64. I would say your better bet is to go to their 62 millimeter. Okay. But if you want to go to the 64, I mean, it may be plausible. I would check with Titan. Their customer service, by the way, is top notch. John over there was amazing when I spoke to him and had questions. And he would be the person to ask for this portion, but it may be possible if you're running a 15 and up style pump that the 64, it may be enough fuel for that. But it's definitely enough fuel with the RCD 10% over. Okay. Like I said, she ignites. She's great. She pushes hard. If you're running a 10 millimeter stroker pump, then you're more than fine. I mean, yeah, you're golden. This turbo is rated for about 700 horsepower. My fuel pump, however, is only rated for 650. Now, I've never dynoed this truck. I don't even know if I'm close to that, but I'll tell you what, it feels like it when you hit that gas. I'm more of a guy that, I'm not driving it like a dog every day or driving it like I stole it. I just like to know the power's there, and the power is definitely there. Okay, I can tell you that. As far as towing ability goes, I pull about a 10,000 pound trailer, and I put my golf cart in, or my camper actually, put my golf cart in the back of the truck. It's about 1,000 pounds. And I will say that is where I do notice a little bit difference between my stock turbo and this, but nothing crazy. Nothing that makes it non-drivable, or I'm like, oh my God, why didn't I go with something smaller? A little bit more pickup time on it. But once that turbo ignites, it's night and day. And if you've tried to tow with the dual inlet turbos, you'll know that dual inlet starts to gas out. I've tried to pull up high grades with that dual inlet, and like my truck's like literally like watching EGTs and trying to get everything down, like I'm losing speed. I mean, sure, I could have gassed it and picked it back up, but then my EGTs are spiking through the roof. This turbo, I haven't had that problem. Okay, this thing has power like, it feels like quadruple. I mean, I know it's not quadruple, but it feels like it. 1800 RPMs. Okay, I would say around 1800 RPMs is the sweet spot for this turbo if you're pulling. Downshift it, you get to that, and the power is immense. Okay, almost like you can drag race with a camper. Well, don't recommend that, but I'm just saying. Yeah, so towing ability, fine, and it's a 64. I bet you if it was a 62, it probably tows even that much better. But I wanted the 64. I wanted it, like I said, have the ability to have that power. As far as what I have tuning on this thing, I'm running proven. Okay, if you're running proven with their lifetime files, you should have this file in your arsenal of files. I'm running the aftermarket turbo with a 10 millimeter pump. Okay, even though I'm not running a 10 millimeter pump in here, I'm only running a 10% over. It just kind of kicks that pump into high gear to push the fueling up, and I haven't seen any issues with them. I'll be honest, I was a little concerned. Proven's track record, they're great for stock tuning, and that's probably what I'm going to say with that, as far as you guys should know what I mean by stock tuning. But once you start going into going bigger turbos, pumps, stuff like that, you start altering what their stock files are, I haven't heard the greatest things. I did have AMPD in my back pocket just in case it didn't want to do it, but I didn't want to spend the money if I didn't have to, and luckily I didn't have to. From you AMPD guys, I mean, I've heard their files are amazing. And if I wanted more power, I have heard from a few people too that, you get some more power running with AMPD. But like I said, with the way she's running now, I don't need it, to be honest. I don't need it at all. So yeah, she's great. As far as sound wise, and this to me, during acceleration, I mean, that jet sound, that turbo whistle sound is like none other. Okay, I love it. Love the way the truck sounds. Now I will say at idle, we've all heard all the Titan 9 blade videos. They do change between trucks, and I do believe that I mean, no, actually I don't believe it. I know it. It has to do with the tuning. All right, with the vane sweeping and stuff like that. Now the file that I'm running currently, I could hear that whistle at tune. It's not as predominant as what I've heard online. So I'm going to try to get with proven and try to work through that to see if I can get something a little bit more, even like a hiss tune, to see if I can get that to change up the idle sound a little bit more. And that's my preference. Some guys hate it, whatever. It's me. Don't hate me for it. And I can make another video if that comes up and I can get them to change it and it winds up working. I'll update you guys on that. But yeah, like great. So end this whole thing. She's a great turbo. She sounds amazing. She performs great. I wouldn't change anything at all, to be honest with you. Yeah. So if you guys have any questions, comments, you leave them. Like and subscribe. And if you got anything else you want me to cover, shoot it in the comments, and we'll talk about it later. Have a good one, guys.